name is Peter Scare, and I'm a professor at Hiroshima University, also in the Babel University Professional School of Translation. And I teach a course on plain written English. I'm going to explain a little bit about the course and also what plain written English is. Basically, the idea of plain written English came about many years ago. I have worked with Babel for the last 20 years with this particular form of plain written English. And it is a kind of English that is meant to adapt to the world standard of global English, so that Japanese users of plain English, as well as, say, Chinese users of plain English, and many other people from around the world can all use a form of English that is clear, precise, concise, and direct. The idea is to make as precise a form of communication as possible, using clear vocabulary, clear sentence structure, and ideas that can communicate whatever it is the speaker wants to be clearly understood by the listener in a direct one-to-one relationship. So plain English in our form has 4 basic principles. The first principle is cohesiveness or cohesion, and that involves how the message is tied together, how a paragraph, for example, is formatted, the nature of voice presentation, as in active voice preferred over the passive voice. Also has to do with the targeting the appropriate audience, knowing the appropriate vocabulary that is suitable for the subject, as well as the purpose of the discussion. So discussion along the lines of cohesiveness occupies 1/4 of the course. Another would be the principle of economy. The principle of economy suggests that briefer messages are preferred over longer messages, more precise messages, ones that cut out unnecessary information, cut out unnecessary verbs, and these could be anything from unnecessary adjectives and adverbs to unnecessary detours and distractions. So we have the principle of economy at word level using fewer words, but words that have direct impact, using fewer sentences, again, shortening those sentences and being direct. And actually this leads us to an associated principle, which is the principle of directness. And this has to do a little bit to do with the differences between, say, Japanese and English, in that in Japanese, writers and speakers often are somewhat ambiguous about the subject and about stating facts or opinions, often only ending up with their main point. And for other audience, other speakers of English, this can also often be confusing, distracting. And so the principle of directness basically leads a discussion, whether in orally or on paper, to the intended points in a logical, straightforward order. Finally, the 4th principle of plain English is the principle of appropriateness, and this has to do with using vocabulary that is suitable for the audience in terms of politeness or formality degrees, in terms of, therefore, how much of a conversational or non-conversational approach should be adopted. It also has to do with just some of the basic problems of that people have in usage of English. So some of the typical grammatical areas. So in total, there are 4 principles of plain English: cohesiveness, directness, economy, and appropriateness. And explaining and directing and guiding those principles, we have 80 specific rules. And in the plain written English course, we look at each of these rules. For example, how to use articles correctly, how to write an introductory statement correctly, how to eliminate and understand, recognize, and eliminate ambiguous words and phrases, and so forth. So there are 80 rules designed to make writers' writing more precise, clear, and cohesive. And the course itself is divided into 15 lectures plus the final kind of assessment task. Each of the lectures involves dealing with several of the principles and several of the rules. At the beginning, we just simply focus on the rules and principles themselves. And then after the first 4 lessons, we look at specific types of professional texts. And these texts include how to describe a product for the workplace, how to write a simple business letter, cover letter, and other kinds of professional letters. We also how to write a recommendation for an employee or for yourself. And then there's our several sections on writing a business report, everything from the introduction, main body, conclusion, and as well as a summary overview. And the course is concluded by a final set of tasks, writing tasks, where students are assessed and given a rating or a proficiency level for plain English, everything from successful, which is the highest rating, and then down on to acceptable and lower than that. Usually this course, we see progress, at least 1 level improvement, and see great improvement in focus and writing clearly, precisely, and efficiently. It's a course that many people who translate from English to Japanese, Japanese to English take, but also a course that many people who have to write professionally, even in solely Japanese, since a lot of the ideas can be easily employed in writing Japanese or any other language. So I think that should be a sufficient summary overview of plain written English, both the idea and the course. Please feel free to contact Babel for further information. Thank you very much.